Hello everybody. So I've been in Thailand for 2 weeks. This is Krabi. This is a beach called Mua Kwang. I can never get the pronunciations right. But the reason I wanted to make a quick video, I'm just checking around on the beach. People will think I'm insane talking to myself, but here you go. There's quite a number of spiritual lessons that have sort of come to me during this trip, and it's not like I've come here as some kind of like spiritual warrior, because that's, that'd just be a concept in the mind. You just try to live, to have fun, but do it with integrity. And in Thailand, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, well, the weather's been pretty poor. You can see from the back there it's been cloudy. I think we've had 2 full days of sunshine in just less than 2 weeks. I've got 2 days. This has been penultimate day here. I mean, last full day really. And the weather's been poor. So, kind of the main spiritual sort of lesson that I've picked up on, that I'm going to do sort of a video about in more detail at another time, will be acceptance. I think it's called surrender in some teachings. To just accept the present moment as it is, because there's many things that have come along on this holiday that have not looked out quite as they should have done. The weather, there's been a few bad trips. People have behaved differently to how I thought, but there's some key spiritual insights that I'd like to talk about briefly. So the first one, to accept your situation how it is, surrender, it's called in the Power Now. Never argue with what is. That if you can accept the present moment 100%, there's no ego, there's no suffering. There may be pain, there may be challenges, but there will never be ego. Ego is your resistance to what is. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't change something. If something isn't right, or you're suffering, or you're in an undesirable situation, you can change it. But first needs to come acceptance. It's so important. All the little things that have gone wrong. For instance, on this beach here, I think it was 3 days into the holiday, it was absolutely teeming it down. Couldn't go snorkeling. Well, I could have done, but it's difficult to see the fish when it's murky. But we were kind of like, it was very dull, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for a run on the beach. So I stuck my headphones on, took my shoes off, did the length of the beach with my headphones on, listening to some music, and it was beautiful. I just really enjoyed it. Now, I might have decided this is crap and just been unaccepting of what is, sat in my room complaining, and it could have ruined things, but I got on with it. So that is a key thing for everything. Anything that you do in life, accept what is. Never argue with the present moment. Don't let things get you down. It's very easy to say that, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to do another video on that in more detail, because it's a massive thing that it affects. You're not even aware of the little things that you don't accept, like being stuck in traffic and you're arguing with it. Why? You can't do anything about it. Just, be still. And there's many other things that one thing that this holiday's inspired me to do is go vegan, which I'm sad to say I'm not already now. It may appear that I'm some kind of fucking ego warrior here, with eco warrior with my tattoos and my hat on them. But I don't want to turn into one of them people that go, well, you should go vegan. It's up to everybody to make their own decisions, but one of the things that's key to my trip in Thailand is that we're ruining the planet. I went to an island called Koi Phi Phi, which in itself is a beautiful island, but me and my friend hated it. It was like the streets were filled with people. It wasn't nice. It really was. You can tell what we're doing to the environment. There was too many people in such a short space. The beach had been ruined. We were told that many of the coral reefs had been destroyed. We went snorkeling and it wasn't what it should be. A lot of the boat activity was just, and that's just one aspect of it. You know, I watched a documentary on Netflix called Food Inc. about how the food industry works, how it's tied to sort of government that's corrupt, and it just makes you think, you know, what am I doing? It's not going to change the world, but I think from a personal point of view, it's like I've got to do my bit. You know, I've got to do my bit. It's just something that I think from a personal point of view, that's what I'm going to do. It's like I've got a couple of friends who are like vegans or vegetarians at least, and you know, they don't run around telling people they're wrong. You shouldn't do that. People have got to make their own decision, and some people don't know any better, and I haven't. So it's just something that is. Went on a trip and did quad biking yesterday in the sort of jungle, and there was a couple of monkeys in cages, and they were walking around this cage, and one had a chain on, and I was like, oh, I was mortified. It was difficult to see. I'm like such a kinetic animal caged up like that, and there was a bird there as well in a cage. Is there anything as ridiculous as a bird in a cage? It just made me like, but you have to surrender to it. So I said, well, you know, I tried talking to one of the guys who owned the place, and I said, what about the monkeys? Do you ever let them out? And he just couldn't. There was a language barrier there, and he just couldn't grasp what I was saying. You know, some people, that's where they are. You can't get angry about it. You can always try and make positive change, but never get angry about it. I mean, you can understand if you see the worst suffering that happens to animals. You know, and we went to, we met some people that run some restaurants over here, and they're very nice, and they've treated us very nice. So they took us to a place called Ironang last night. So we were at their mercy. Now, please believe me, I'm a hot-blooded male, but I'm not into strip bars, right? And they took us one. And, you know, I try and have fun, so I wasn't enjoying it, but I surrendered to it, and I accepted the situation, and there was all these very attractive girls walking around with nothing on, virtually. And it's just, I would have immediately got out of there, but I said, they've been kind, they've brought us here. And what I saw when I saw some of them women is exactly what I saw with the monkey in the cage, being like trapped, and it wasn't pleasant. I don't like that kind of thing, in my opinion. From a certain perspective, it can be seen as exploitation. From a certain perspective, I'm not saying that's the ultimate truth. Some people, some girls, want to do that, and some make a good living. I'm not judging at all. But from a personal point of view, I didn't enjoy it. I tried to have a bit of a laugh with it. There was a guy in there, it was quite funny. You've got to try and bring humour into everything, because don't take life too seriously. If you take it too seriously, you'll end up going nuts. There was a guy in the corner with all these women around him. He must have been in like his 50s, and he was like totally in his element, absolutely laughing his head off, like with all these women around him going, "Ugh." It just reminded me of a scene on The Simpsons where that guy from Shelbyville wants to marry his cousins, and there's that statue. Anyway, never mind. But I just found it quite funny, so I tried to make light heart of it and just said, you know, this isn't for me. This isn't where I want to come. But I remember looking into a girl's eyes as she came over, and it was like a comparison between that and seeing the monkey in the cage. And it's like, what are we doing? What are all these people doing? I'm a hypocrite, because I've come here, and my carbon footprint, you know, why do I need to come to Thailand? I wanted to see a different part of the world. I'm glad I did. I've seen how some people live. And I don't particularly. It's a beautiful place. There's a lot of corruption here and a lot of poverty. And one thing it's made me do is realise how lucky I actually have it, and how some people haven't got a clue how lucky they actually are. You know, there's people getting paid pittance for doing hard jobs. The medical situation is nowhere near as good as it is in England, and you know, it does makes you reflect a lot more. I've had a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, I've not just whinged on this holiday, but it does make you aware of what's going on. We've also, 3 times in 3 different restaurants, well, bars and restaurants I went to in anger, I got ripped off, or they tried to rip me off. I lost my cool in one of the bars. They lured me in with a price which was really cheap and then tried charging me double. So I stood my ground and didn't have to pay it, but it was very frustrating because I knew what they were up to. And it happened in another place where they brought me something, I thought it was complimentary, and they ended up charging me for it. That was resolved as well. I can't remember what happened in the other place. Oh yeah, they tried charging me £5 for a small bottle of water, and I said, well, excuse me, and then they said, oh no, sorry, it's our mistake, but I believed it was a deliberate thing. But I didn't get angry, I surrendered, and you realise that people don't know any better. Some people are so fixated on making money, they don't know the truth. They don't know the most important things in life, which is your state of consciousness. It's not money, it's not power, it's not success, it's your state of consciousness. That's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that has true value and importance. Everything else is just a game of life, just a game, you play it. But some people get lost in the game. They want more money. They've got to create more bank accounts and do tax avoidance here and tax avoidance there, and they've got to buy that car and buy this car and go on this place and go that place. Don't get lost in the game. So, yeah. So, you know, I had to surrender to it, and yeah, that was it. So, if anybody's thinking of coming to Thailand, I'm at a place called the Dusit Thani in near Ayanang. It's a beautiful hotel. What I don't like, and this isn't, you know, it's not the kind of an advert, but it's a fantastic and well-run hotel. But they have like the security guards saluting the, customers like us. I don't like that, because it's like trying to like promote superiority, in my opinion, which is total nonsense. Whenever I see someone, I go "Sadikap," which is the greeting. You know, everybody's the same. It's one thing I thought made me realise something. It's a realisation of something that I already know, but it's become more prevalent. No matter where you travel to in the world, no matter what race, ethnic background you might meet, you know what? We're all this. When you get down to it, we're all the same. We're all the same, all of us. We really are. It's just where you've been brought up and your cultural, your conditioning, what determines your personality traits. It's like those people that rip me off are from a certain background, all 3 of them, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be perceived as being racist, but within that culture, they're just all fixated on money. They don't know any better, they don't know the truth, they've never read a spiritual book. It's not for me to judge. It's only for me to say and try, and this is why I do these videos, because I just want people, if I can, one person get something out of one of these videos that is just mission accomplished. Yeah, and it's like another thing here, right? I'm a single bloke, right? And there's been women here. Let's just say I've had opportunities that I've passed up, because this is the interpretation of me, right? Some of these girls, they seem to put Western men on a pedestal, and I don't like it. I don't like that they're not seeing, whether they see us as a way out of the life or whether they put us on a pedestal, makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like to take advantage of situations that don't come from a true place. It might seem, me and my mate had a bit of a laugh about this. He said, "Oh, you miserable bugger." I'm like, well, it's just not for me. It's really not for me. I'm not interested in anything unless it's real. You could argue it's just a game, yes, but no, not for me, not for me. It's a game if the other person's aware it's a game and it's all a bit of fun, but it's a bit different. I see it a bit differently. I'm not saying I'm right, but there you go. Anyway, so yeah, just a few reflections on things. It's like every day I see as a spiritual journey to try and raise my spiritual consciousness, my level of consciousness. That's what I try and do. So even though I've tried to have fun, and some days I've got blind drunk, I've been snorkeling, I've been on little mini treks, adventures on walks, meeting people, I always try and ask myself a question: what's going on inside me right now? And try and come from a deeper place and be still and quiet. You know, the best moment of the whole holiday for me, it's not partying, it's not, you know, dancing. It was a moment just here on the beach where there was a sunset yesterday. I put my headphones on and listened to a brand new song that I've been listening to from my favourite artist, Noel Gallagher. And it's one of the greatest songs that I've heard in a very long time. And it's called Dead in the Water. And I was watching the water, listening to the music with my headphones on. And it was beautiful and peaceful. And that was the best part of the holiday for me, it was tranquil. It was like magical, looking at the beautiful scenery and listening to music and just being quiet. And that's just me. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that I hope that you enjoy this. And could you please leave any comments that you feel about any reflections that I've mentioned, anything that is that you feel, anything you might disagree with, or any perspective, anything like that. I'd really appreciate it, because I really want this channel to do, you know, it's therapeutic for me, it helps my learning, and if it can help someone else, then all the better. But thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.